Well, hello and welcome, you beautiful people of the internet, and it is time for another fantastic episode of the Big Bad Caffeinated Podcast. I am your host Noah, and we are back again. It has taken, once again, a little bit longer than we planned, but that's just always the same way it seems to be for us. But we're back again, and are so excited to be back. There was a controversy going around the internet, and I was just like, hey, we've got to comment on this. We've got to get involved. We've got to make our voices heard on this one. It's just too good. It's just too good not to get involved, not to make an announcement on here. So of course I am talking about the one, the only Candace Owens. And this absolutely fiery tweet that kicked everything off. And I just want to discuss, what's going on. Is this a credible threat that we're looking at? What's the story here? Okay, so obviously we're going to start off, let's just read Candace's post that kicked off this whole controversy. So our show will be off air this week. As an update, both the White House and our counter-terrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly. Now, I didn't actually see where she reported it publicly before. This is the first I saw of it. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organise my assassination per a source close to the first couple. Never seems to name her sources, but okay, let's carry on. Also, I will state again that the French legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, but they did not act alone. For all of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I am telling the truth. There's so much to unpack there. I'm like, brain's going off on 1,000 different directions there. But look, it's just gold. Right? We've got to talk about this, guys. I'm really curious to hear what everybody has to say on this, because it's just, good old Candace, great for a controversy. So anyway, I am curious. Please, guys, we're gonna try and break this whole situation down. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you got something you read. I have got the live chat open, so if anybody's here and wants to say anything, I will absolutely read your comments live. If not, I will respond to them later when I can. This was probably the biggest controversy of the last 72 hours. It's kind of just dominated everything. Candace Owens explosive claims of an international assassination plot against her, allegedly orchestrated by the French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte, with ties to Israeli operatives. Of course, there's Israeli operatives. There's always Israeli operatives, guys. That's the thing. It's they're always there. This stems from her ongoing feud with Macron's over baseless accusations of that Brigitte is a transgender, which led to a 2025 defamation lawsuit against Owens. She escalated by linking it to the recent assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. It's just funny how all these things are connected. Just like Candace is the only one who can connect all the dots. She's the only one with these sources, and all of them involving her are connected. And this defamation lawsuit that, as far as I'm aware, she's tried to get thrown out 3 times. But no, for some reason although the Macrons seem to be winning, they've escalated it now. No, she's too dangerous. We've got to take her out. So anyway, so in a viral post, obviously this post here, Candace announced she'd be off air for the week, citing confirmed threat from Macron's circle to assassinate over her Macron's comments. She claimed the White House and U.S. counter-terrorism agencies acknowledged her report and reiterated the French's involvement. Okay, the funny thing about this message, and this is one of the things, for Candace, you always think, she's for quite a while, I kind of go back and forward, she's a true believer in what her saying. Some of her things are just crazy, but you kind of believe that she believes what she's saying, even if you don't agree with it. But you get to something like this, and because I missed this, because I saw this message, this post quickly, I didn't take a close look at it at the time, but a few people broke it down. We're just going to go through the comments quickly. Okay, so this one here from Peniaya Bloom. Candace, receipt simply means someone opened an email or logged an online receipt. It does not confirm your claim, your source, or your interpretation. That is not how intelligent verification works, and you know it. If the President of the United States or any counter-terrorism agency believed France had attempted to assassinate an American citizen, the response would not be silence from Washington and an Instagram story from you. It would be a diplomatic crisis, emergency briefings, and an immediate press conference from the State Department. And for the record, not a single reputable source, journalist, agency, or government has collaborated even one detail of the story you're repeating. Not one. You can ask the government to confirm it, but you know they will not, because there is nothing to confirm. Repeating it does not make it real, and silence does not make it true. And Candace, actually to her credit, responded this way. Why are you explaining English to me like I'm not a native speaker? I said what I meant, they confirmed the receipt of my claims. Obviously, they will have to investigate it and then inform the public as to whether or not I made it up, which I did not. Okay, fair enough claim. But if we go back and actually say, read this again, once again. As an update, both the White House and our counter-terrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organise my assassination per a source close to the first couple. Now, do you really think that the average person reading that there would take that as, I sent a message telling the White House and counter-terrorism that I have a threat? Or do you think that is like she's saying that she got confirmation that this is real from the White House and counter-terrorism agencies? Because personally, I think she's very much worded this so it sounds like they confirmed that there is a threat, and she has that. Also in the chat we have the Smoking Giant said hi. Hi man, thank you for stopping by, and yeah. Please enjoy the show. Guys, really love the comments. Always happy to acknowledge them. And yeah, look, we're trying to grow this channel. So look, if you would buy like a comment, a like, a follow, it means a lot to us. So thank you very much. So yeah, obviously this kicked off a slew of controversy all over the internet. And one of the other things I just want to point out here is she says, our show will be off air this week. And like makes that sound like, oh, there's a big threat, I'm going in hiding. Which fair enough, you know, if there was if you really believe somebody was trying to assassinate you, absolutely, go, you know, take some time off, lay low. Obviously I'm not in America, so that's it just looks like it may have paused. Hopefully it hasn't. Oh no, it's alright, it's still going. I was a little bit worried that that the stream might have paused, so hopefully not. Once again, if you're watching this in the chat, yeah, please let me know if things are pausing. Anyway, sorry, getting a little bit distracted there. Hopefully the stream is working well. This is going to be a quick one, guys, but I just wanted to break this down and talk this. So I haven't been through all of this. Kind of going through it a little bit. I just pulled a bunch of sources and things posted about it, and I just really wanted to break it down. Now, sorry, I am just trying to. Yeah, so once again, I think that this message here was worded like very manipulatively, if I'm going to be really honest. In way she's trying to convey things, and she does this a lot. If you notice, like when people say Candace Owens brings receipts, she's very vague on a lot of areas and like does not clarify what exactly she means. And she is, I don't think she's a dumb woman, she's a smart woman, so I'll give her that. But she knows exactly what she's doing. She gives herself enough room to like always backpedal and walk things back. It's like, no, that's not what I mean. It's like, you're a smart woman, you know how things sound, you're smart enough to know that you can clarify things and say exactly what you mean, but she doesn't, which leads me to think that she's doing this deliberately. Anyway, so she also doubled down on prior theories that Kirk's death involved foreign agents, French and Israeli. Like I did another post about this recently. Like I'm losing track. Like, fair enough to ask questions, I think, and you know, if it's a close personal friend, which Charlie Kirk was, so that's legitimate. But you know, she did the. What's one of the things I noticed first off when you go look at her YouTube channel, go look at her videos. She did after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. First post, like 20-minute, video about it, talking about it and her friendship with Charlie Kirk. Fair enough. The very next video where she talks to her, 6 minutes it took her to bring Israel up, and that was the rest of the episode. So like, in this whole thing, like, even though we've got a suspect who was arrested, he had a gun that belonged to him, that matched everything else matched up, but no, this isn't good enough to Candace. Like, she the only person she doesn't seem to think assassinated Charlie Kirk was the guy who was arrested. She thinks Israel's involved. I think there's latest theories including Egypt, now France, which is of course just happens to be related to a defamation case that she's already involved in. It's just funny how all these things seem to circulate around Candace, you know, and very convenient for the things that she's got going on in her life. And you know, it's a fair call to say that the biggest person to gain from Charlie Kirk's assassination at the moment so far has been Candace Owens. Her podcast is like had a huge boost, and she's getting more views than anybody. But I've heard this several times that she's now got the largest podcast in the world. So has it taken over Joe Rogan? Apparently. I'm going to take a quick look at this one here, because apparently this is a video of a guy debunking some of her claims. I haven't actually seen it, but I thought it would be good to take a look at it and see what this guy is saying, because it is apparently a guy who does debunk a whole bunch of alright, I'm just going to respond to a couple of the chats in here. What have we got? Suppose, this is from the Smoking Giant. Sorry, I cannot highlight this on the video, but suppose one could be in two mindsets over her claims of this apparent assassination tip. What if it turns out to be true and comes to fruition? Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But, like, the way her claims come out, like, she can confirm these things, and you know, as far as like actual evidence she's providing, she does not provide the receipts that she claims to receive. It's saying that I haven't dived too deep down in this rabbit hole. Yeah, it is a big rabbit hole, and I'm by no means an expert of it. I'm just reacting to what I do see, and what I do see is like her claiming to have a lot of rights and claiming to be upfront and open and honest about it, but she's really not. Doesn't really. Okay, so anyway, but this here, we're going to, let's just bring this up if we can, back on here. Ooh. Now things are freezing up. Oh, here we go, that's what it is. Okay, Candace Owens debunked by a former Special Services Army Green Beret. Thank you for taking the time to sit down. Okay, so this is another podcast. It's about 34 minutes, so we're not going to go through the whole thing. Obviously, let's just run it back to the start here and see what it has to say.
Right. It's insane. It's insane. I just want people to embrace reality a little bit. How much money has she made in the last year off of all these sensationalist claims that she's never backed up? And I do all this knowing full well that she is probably going to come after me at some point, you know, in one way or another.
One of the Twitter accounts, the X accounts that I feel like has really been strong on this is called Green Beret Nap Time. And this account is run by an ex-Special Forces guy. And I just want to say thank you for joining me. This is Chase. Have you always been a Candace skeptic? Or if not, when did you start having a problem with her?
I haven't always been a skeptic. I've honestly not really cared about her one way or the other. But then really, when she pulled this stuff and kind of got fired from the Daily Wire and then started her own podcast, it's kind of where I've just been watching from the sidelines. And then, you know, I've watched a few episodes just to get clarity on everything. And it's just, it's clearly you could say a mental break, or you could say whatever you want, but it's also a grift, and it's also making her a lot of money, and it's made her the #1 podcast.
Yeah, I think that's very true. It's like one of the things I think people don't at least consider a little bit more. Like, if you're a Candace Owens supporter, fair enough, you'll be a Candace Owens supporter. I don't have a problem with that, but at least consider the fact that she does she makes a whole lot of money about this. this is very financially rewarding for her. All her conspiracy theories, and they always escalate, and she always seems to be having the sources that they will only talk to her. Personally, before all this, I didn't really have any problem with Candace Owens. I think I didn't have any opinion. I saw a podcast she did with I'm going brain blank now. All I can think is Rusty Rockets. I'm forgetting his name. No, that'll come back to me. Anyway, I saw a podcast with her, and she was, not rude, but very confrontational. She knew her stuff, very quick on her feet as far as answering all those questions, and push back. And Russell Brand, that's who I was with. I don't know why I couldn't think of that at the time. Anyway, I thought it was fantastic. And so I thought she was really smart. I didn't really care about the fallout between her and Daily Wire. It didn't really bother me, or I didn't really pay much attention to it, to be honest.
In the world, is it the world or United States? Either way,
world, supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, supposedly the world. And so seeing all that, all I do is I poke holes in stuff. So I see narratives, I poke holes in them, and that's kind of what I've made my account on, and really just to elevate the truth. The craziest part is, I can't stand the Macrons. I can't stand that whole dynasty. I can't stand anything that most of the French government's doing. But now you're forcing me to be hey, this is insane. Let's talk about this realistically, because all these things you're saying are just crazy. So. Well,
and that's to me that makes someone like you so credible, is that I can see that the Macrons do not align with you politically, in terms of any kind of cultural perspective that you have. And you were talking about how this is such a weird thing because it's forced you to be on their side in a way. And I feel the same way about Erica Kirk. I've done videos talking about how I find that she comes across really strange. I find it hypocritical that she's promoted the trad lifestyle, but now she's stepping into this high-powered CEO role. I have critiques of her myself, but what Candace Owens is doing to her, I know she hasn't directly accused Erica, but by all kinds of insinuations and associations and stuff, what she's doing to her, what Candace is doing to Turning Point, what she's doing to Charlie Kirk's.
Yeah, just quickly, she did say, that nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. It's one of the things that I thought she should definitely have clarified a little bit. Didn't keep his family out of there. And it's she either paints Erica Kirk as a complete idiot, who I don't think she is, who didn't know anything that was going on, or part of it. That's the only two options there, if you're following the narrative of Candace Owens.
Memory, legacy, and then yes, what she's doing to the Macrons, who I also have no great affection for either. It really needs to be called out now, and I feel like people are finally seeing the light. What's interesting to me about your analysis, and people should check out your page, I'll link to it below, is that as a former special forces guy, you actually, you've been on secret missions for the government, yes? Yeah. And so you're, unlike most people, you're familiar with sort of the other side of things and what does go on in the sort of the shadow spaces and with covert stuff. And yet you are still calling out how batshit crazy all of these ideas she has about what's going on, all this espionage and all this are. So I'm curious to ask, what do you find so far to be some of the craziest things that she, or the most problematic assertions that she's made?
What got me was the other day when she posted the maroon shirt thing, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, so explain to our audience what happened there.
Yeah, so she posted that she noticed a bunch of maroon shirts were in the crowd, and that's not the color for Utah Valley University, which, whatever. And then she was like, and then I had no idea that that was the color of the U.S. elite U.S. airborne operations, and then hinting at that basically U.S. airborne operations was, which isn't a thing, by the way. That's not the way anyone in the military would say it. Uh-huh. It's not a thing. And there's tons of airborne, there's the 82nd Airborne, there's all kinds of airborne units, and a lot of them, and we wear green berets, but anyone who's airborne wears a maroon beret. But they're not going out and buying maroon shirts because they're airborne. Even if that was a thing, and they're not
It does seem to completely destroy, if you're going to do a covert operation, wearing shirts that are all matching so you can easily identify as part of the same group kind of seems to defeat the purpose of a covert operation.
We're a part of this clandestine undercover assassination op, so we're going to wear our maroon shirts. It's the same as them pushing that they were there was 19 Israeli cell phones on that were active in UVU at the time of the shooting, and I'm like, okay, well, how many Chinese cell phones were there? And regardless of that at all,
right.
What kind of assassin or what kind of secret, cabal uses their host nation cell phones in a world where we know that can be tracked? when we got into country, we would immediately buy local cell phones and that like burners, and those are what we would use for any kind of coordination outside of us to our team or to like home. And so like in country, no one's getting my U.S. cell number or anything like that. Like it's all insane. And so
yeah, that is an excellent good point, and just a couple of those there. I thought that was a really good. Okay, here we go. Here's some comments that disagree. Guy's an absolute tossicker, full of shite. He blocked me when he couldn't answer my questions, and I made him look like a fool. Okay, Nicole, sure thing. Egyptian blade wearing a maroon shirt coming out of a trapdoor. Charlie said so in a dream. Give it a rest, sister. Oh, I do. The comments are always entertaining. Candace fans don't care about evidence. They don't care about her message. They will follow her to them. It's about Candace cult. Okay. You're both so obviously just jealous of the following she has, and it's hilarious. Okay, if you say so, like people can make those claims, and like, hey, maybe it is something. I've never heard of those people before, but you know, people will also just call out if they think something's wrong. They will call it out. But obviously, this made worldwide news. What was I going to say? This is a good one. I thought we should take a look at this article quickly, and then we're gonna. If I can. You know when everything just doesn't quite work as the way you're planning, which is just always seems to happen when I'm doing a stream. But that's all right. Is that gonna? Nope. Let's try this again. Here we go. You know what? You know who we can trust to break all this down? That's right, the good old Jerusalem Post. I thought this would be a good one. Here we go. So Candace Owens claims the Macron sent French-Israeli linked hit squad to assassinate her. Candace Owens claimed the Macrons. Half the time I say macarons, so don't trust me for any correct pronunciation. I will get it wrong. Though no evidence or official confirmation has been provided. Israeli involvement is at the centre of the new allegation by American commentator Candace Owens. It's always Israeli involvement. There's always Israeli involvement. That's the first rule of Candace Owens, who claimed on a Saturday post on X/Twitter that French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron, ordered and funded an assassination plot against her. Like, honestly, that is pretty hilarious. I gotta give it. In a lengthy message labelled urgent, Owens wrote that 2 days ago she was contracted by what she described as a high-ranking employee of the French government, who allegedly warned her that the Macrons had executed upon and paid for my assassination. There we go. After determining this position and proximity of the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me credible enough to share publicly in the event. Okay, if you say so, Candace, if you say so. Owens sends the source claimed the green light was given to a small team in the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, referring to France's elite National Intervention Group, GIGN, and that one Israeli operative was part of the alleged squad, and that plans were formalised. She added that the individual provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus, but she did not publish any documents or any other verifiable materials alongside the post. As of now, none of her claims have been independently corroborated by law enforcement or reputable investigative outlets. You don't need to. You just need to trust Candace Owens, because she brings receipts. And the receipts are Candace Owens' previous posts in which she confirmed that there was a receipt with the American government. They receipted, and by receipted, they confirmed as they opened the message that she said to him there was a threat. It makes perfect sense, guys. I don't know why anybody doesn't doubt this. Anyway, I thought that this was hilarious, and I just wanted to break it down. So anyway, that's probably all I've got time for tonight. But please let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you think that Candace Owens is right, her life's really in danger, or is she just taking the week off for Thanksgiving? entirely possible there. Please let me know in the comments. Yeah, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we will see you again